We're joined today by Dr. Michael Winlo, Managing Director of Emyria. Michael, thanks for your time.
Hey, pleasure to be here, David.
For those who don't know the company, can you tell us a little bit more about Emyria and what is your focus?
Yeah, so Emyria is a clinical stage drug development company. We've come from an origin of running clinical services, studying our own patients in our own clinic. From that, added drug development capabilities really in the last 12 months. We're focused on mental health and unmet needs in neuroscience. And we've got a couple of leading programs that are now entering phase 3 studies and some early clinical studies too.
So the phase 3 clinical trial, clearly a very important milestone for the company. What is it and why is it so important?
Yeah, so this phase 3 study is really important. It's the important next step towards registration of our unique dose form for an over-the-counter registration in Australia. So Australia has set a precedent allowing low-dose cannabinoids to be available as over-the-counter treatments if they pass all the appropriate clinical studies. And so this is a phase 3 study to demonstrate the clinical benefit of our treatment in the symptoms of psychological distress, which is mild anxiety, stress, sleep disturbance, GI upset, those kinds of things. And this study will run for the next 6 months and put our drug against placebo and help us support a registration of this treatment.
Once the trial finishes, what are the next steps to get it into a commercial product?
Yeah, so after the trial is concluded, we put together the data package, submit that to the TGA, and then really we wait for their review, respond to their questions, and if we've met the requirement for statistical significance of clinical benefit, then we should be available over the counter through pharmacies. And what made our program really unique is we've taken a deliberate view to work with lab-created CBD, so it's ultra pure. There are absolutely no other impurities or other botanicals in the compound. And we've also formulated this to be acceptable by groups like the FDA and EMA. So this is just the first step of registration in Australia, the first step of our larger global ambitions that we have for additional indications and additional global markets.
And you're also doing preclinical work with MDMA.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more exciting things that we've commenced in the last 12 months. This is with a partner at the University of Western Australia who've been investigating these compounds for the last 10 or 15 years. And we've actually got this amazing library that we've now since grown about another 50%. We've got over 140 compounds. It's probably the largest of its kind in the world. All of these unique chemical entities inspired by MDMA. And we like working with MDMA. It's got what we call privileged chemistry. It can get into the brain, it's small, it's stable, and we know it's neurologically active. We're also starting to see a lot more interest in MDMA as an adjunct for psychotherapy for major mental health disorders like PTSD. And it's our belief that we can make changes to this compound, improve its safety, and get different kinds of neurological effects for a range of conditions like Parkinson's disease or narcolepsy, ADHD, depression, things like that.
Across the portfolio, what does the next 6-12 months look like? And what are the markers that investors should look for as measures of success?
Yeah, so thinking about our two lead programs, the clinical one and the preclinical, on the clinical side, a phase 3 study concluding that submission to the TGA, and also the launch of additional formulations and indication targets for our other ultra-pure cannabinoid programs too, including a US program. So finishing the phase 3, submission to TGA, and additional formulations launching, as well as some commercialization discussions which are underway to hopefully take those to market. On the preclinical side, it's the animal studies, which we've got a whole cascade of proof of concept studies underway now with global partners. They'll read out over the next 12 months, help us pick our leading compounds for further studies.
Important trials, globally significant market, exciting times ahead for Emyria and its shareholders. Michael, thanks for your time.
Thank you, David. Thanks for your questions.